Hi there, I'm Aman from DPS Advani Ramachor and you're watching video classes. So I'm back with another lesson from grade 9th English and we are doing a chapter from Beehive this week. Okay, we are doing the chapter number 7 from Beehive, that is packing. Okay, and it is written by Jerome A. Jerome. Okay, this chapter is an excerpt. Okay, it is an excerpt from a novel. Okay, so you all know what is a novel? A book with a fictitious tale, a very interesting tale that is not true, that can may be true, but it is somewhere the author's art. Okay, so it is an excerpt, the packing chapter, it is an excerpt from the novel Three Men, Three Men in a Boat. Okay, Three Men in a Boat, the novel, and packing is the excerpt from the novel. What is an excerpt? A small part from a novel. Okay, few chapters, one chapter from the novel. Okay, from the entire story, one particular incident or a chapter. So what does packing hold? Okay, so do you like adventure or going into the trips? Most of the answers will be yes. Mostly people enjoy quality time with your friends, family. Okay, so same way, three friends are there in our story: George, Harris, and of course Jerome, our author, our narrator. So they three are going into a voyage. What is a voyage? What is a voyage? A very interesting long journey. A journey. Voyage is a journey. So three friends, Jerome, George and Harris, they are on a trip, a voyage, and for that, what you do for a trip? Firstly, you will plan the trip. Okay, you decide the place that where you will go. Then you decide the participants, the friends that will join you in the trip. Then you do packing. You pack your things, that what I will need for my trip, whether I have to keep my headphones, whether I have to keep my what can I say, toothbrush, everything that is required for a person on his daily routine, they pack in their bag. So this is the first and foremost thing we do for a trip. Yes, of course, after planning, we often plan our trips, but that plan never comes into reality. But when it comes into reality, we do first thing that we pack our bags, our luggage. So this story tells a very funny incident, chain of events where very humorously these three characters will engage and you will laugh a lot. So I am Aman and we will see that what happens in the story packing, and let's start reading the story.
Okay, so let's start reading the chapter Packing. And as you know, the author of this story is Jerome K. Jerome. Okay, so let's begin. Do you like going on trips? What kind of trips do you enjoy most? So, all of us, we like to travel, we like to visit some places with our friends and our near ones. And what kind of trips we like? We like the trips where we are going as a group and where we are getting to spend some quality time and do our things that we want. It depends on the place that we are going. Suppose we are going to on a trip of a temple, we are going to see a temple, so there we won't have the same kind of a fun that we can have at a place we are visiting for trekking. How do you feel about having to pack for a trip? It is a very hideous task. We always find it very, what can I say, irritating, very uh, worksome thing. We try to avoid it. We what we do, we put the work on someone else. We ourselves don't want to do packing. Mostly it happens. Some of you will be there who will say that we enjoy packing also. Have you ever discovered on a trip that you have forgotten to pack a few things you very much need, or that you can't find them easily? It happens with me every time. When I am on a trip, I forget something or the other. So you get a lot of irritation at that point. And when you can't find a thing, if you have packed it also, then it is more irritating. When you come back from your journey and you remember, you recall that while on the trip you were finding a thing in your bag and you just couldn't find it. You scratch your head and you get irritated. But when you're unpacking your bag, when you're at your home, when you're at your place, and you find a thing, then it is the most irritating thing to go through. Does this make you angry or does it make you laugh at yourself? So I've answered from my behalf already. It irritates a lot, but there would be some people who will laugh on it. We laugh over it later on. The first reaction is most of the time is of irritation, of anger. Then when we have no other choice to live up rather than to live up with the feeling of irritation, then we laugh on us that what kind of a foolish thing I have done. So this is the thing about packing, and now you have to read the story in order to see how the author goes on a trip. I said I would pack because I rather pride myself on my packing. I feel that I do it the best than any other person living. It surprises me myself sometimes how many such things are there. I impressed the fact upon George and Harris and told them that they had better leave the whole matter entirely to me. So, who are the other two characters? Who are the friends of the author? George and Harris. So, the author, told his friend that they can leave the packing thing on Jerome because he will do it on his own. They fell into the suggestion rather with a readiness that had something uncanny about it. Uncanny means strange or weird. So George spread himself over the easy chair and Harris cocked his legs on the table. So Harris put his feet on the table and he relaxed, and George also did the same. He spread himself over the easy chair that now our friend will do the packing and let it be. Let's see now what happened next. This was hardly what I intended. What I had meant, of course, was that I should be the boss of the job. I should boss the job. I should command them. So this was the thing with Jerome, that he wanted them to work, but under his supervision. Not he wanted that he alone will work. George and Harris were not getting what Jerome wanted, and they relaxed, pushing them aside every now and then with, "Oh, you, here, let me do it. There you are, simple enough," really teaching them, as you might say, that taking it in the way they did irritated me. There is nothing does irritate me more than seeing other people sitting about doing nothing when I am working. See, on the one hand, he was saying he is very good in packing, and he the things that he said, um, the kind of words that he chose were simply suggesting to his friends that you can relax and I will do the work. But now he is getting irritated seeing his friends sitting without any work. I lived with a man once who used to make me mad that way. He would loll on the sofa, loll means relax on the sofa, and watch me doing things. He said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. Now I'm not like that. I can't sit still and see another man slaving and working. I want to get up and superintend and walk around with my hands in my pockets and I tell them what to do. It is my energetic nature, I can't help it. So, Jerome is telling us that earlier he used to live with a man who used to laugh on his kind of functioning, that how he gets so panicked while doing things. But sorry, but Jerome says that he is not like that. He likes to boss over everyone. He likes to supervise others. He likes to act as a superintendent, and he wants to get the work done by others. So he is he tries to act like a leader. Now see what happened. However, I did not say anything but started the packing. So he said that I left it then and there. I didn't say anything to George and Harris and I started packing. It seemed a longer job than I had thought it was going to be. But I got the bag finished at last and I sat on it and strapped it. So he is saying that he was thinking it will be a very easy task, but it was not really. And he filled everything inside the bag and he tried to strap it, he tried to zip it, and he sat on it like we do with the briefcase, with the luggage, when it is very much filled with our equipments, our objects, our things. Ain't you going to put the boots in? Said Harris. And I looked around and found I had forgotten them. So, just when he was trying to zip the bag, Harris said that the boots, what about the boots? Aren't you going to keep them inside the bag? And I looked around and I found I had forgotten them. That's just like Harris. He couldn't have said a word until I had got the bag shut and strapped. So when he zipped the bag, then Harris said that you are forgetting the boots, and that irritated Jerome a lot. I opened the bag and packed the boots in, and then just as I was going to close it, a horrible idea occurred to me. Before this, George and Harris were laughing about him, so they both made Jerome very mad because he was getting irritated that I am doing all the work and they are laughing on me. And when he unpacked the bag and tried to put the boots in, one thought struck his mind. Had I packed my toothbrush? I don't know how it is, but I never do know whether I have packed my toothbrush. So it happens a lot with us. Suppose you are going out, when you are in a hurry, when you are not easy, what you try to recall that what I am forgetting, what I have not put in my pocket, what I have not put in my bag. So this happens with lot of people and most of the people go through this situation. Suppose I am going out, I will look into my pockets several times that whether I have kept my handkerchief in my pocket, have I kept my keys inside my pocket or not. So this happens with lot many people. And when it is a case of a bag, you try to recall that whether you have put your boots, your toothbrush, your belongings inside or not. But toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I am traveling and makes my life a misery. Misery means a very tough thing, a very miserable situation. I dream that I haven't packed it and I wake up in a cold perspiration and get out of bed and hunt for it. So every time when he is going somewhere, uh, he forgets his toothbrush. It is a feeling that occurs to him that he has forgotten his toothbrush. And in the morning, I pack it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it. And it is always the last thing I turn out of the bag, and then I repack and forget it. So, what happens? He tries to remember that whether he has put the toothbrush or not. Then he comes to a conclusion that I have not. Then he opens the bag and see that in the morning after brushing his teeth, he has put the toothbrush inside, and then he takes it out because he tries to look for it and he gets everything out, and in the process toothbrush also gets out. And when he again repack the things, the toothbrush then is left outside. So it happens with him a lot. It is at the last moment, and I carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. So at last moment he remembers that now it is not inside the bag, and again he will have to unzip it and then strap it. Again he has to sit on it. So he puts simply the toothbrush in his pocket in a handkerchief. So this is the thing that happens with Harris a lot. Of course, I had to turn every mortal thing out now, and of course I could not find it. I rummaged means searched in a hurried or careless manner. I rummaged the things up into much the same state that they were before. So what happened? Jerome, as you can see in the picture, he again got everything out of the bag and he had to see that whether he had his toothbrush or not, and then he had to again repack the things. So he hurriedly took everything out of the bag, and of course, I found George and Harris 18 times over, but I couldn't find my own. So when he was going through the things, he found George and Harris toothbrush many times, but his own he couldn't find. I put the things back one by one and held everything up and shook it. Then I found it inside a boot. I repacked once more. So, see, he found the toothbrush inside the boot. It is a very important thing. Kindly mark it. He repacked once more and he found that he had his toothbrush inside the boot. Okay, so when I had finished, George asked if the soap was in. I said I didn't care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't, and I slammed the bag and shut it and strapped it and found that I had packed my specs inside. Okay, so what happened? Out of irritation, when George reminded him about the soap, that whether it is inside or not, out of irritation, Jerome said, I have nothing to do with it, and he smacked the bag, he shut the bag, he zipped the bag, and then he found that his specs are inside it. So see what funny situation happened. And then he again reopened it and got his specs, and by that time it was 10:05. And then there remained the hampers to do, the little bags. Harris said that we should be wanting to start in less than 12 hours time, and thought that he and George had better do the rest. So George Harris said that it is only a few hours left, so he and George should also help. So Jerome agreed that alone he can't do. They begin in a light-hearted spirit, evidently intending to show me how to do it. Okay, so they begin in a light-hearted spirit, a very easy-go way. So they were trying to show Jerome that how things can be done, how he was wrong in all his hurriedness and everything. and they tried to show him. I made no comment. I only waited. So Jerome said nothing, but he waited for any mistake to occur. With the exception of George, Harris is the worst packer in this world. Okay, so in a sense, he is saying that they both are the worst packers. And I looked at the piles of plates and cups and kettles and bottles and jars and pies and stoves and cakes and tomatoes and etc. and felt that thing would soon become exciting. Okay, so now Jerome was taking fun out of the situation. He was saying, looking by all the objects that were there to look after, he was saying that now I was expecting the things would get exciting. Exciting in a sense that they will get irritated and they will not get the work done. It did. They started with breaking a cup. So what happened? George and Harris, they broke a cup. That was the first thing they did. They did that just to show you that they could do and to get you interested. So here we are ending our story. Half of the story we have covered. We are ending the video rather, and we will rejoin next time, and we will again see what happened next. Whether George and Harris packed the things in a smooth way, or Jerome did he got what he was looking for, the fun out of his friend's misery. So we will see that what happened in the packing next. Till that time, you can do the word meanings that I am providing you, and we will meet again soon.